Good morning. What's going on? It's Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. Can I get a roll tide inside the comment box? I appreciate you guys being here. Today is Friday. It's Feel Good Friday. It is February 28th. I appreciate you guys being here on the show. Please let me know where you guys are watching from inside the comment box. Give a roll tide inside the comment box. And as I always ask you guys, how's your morning today? Today on the show, the meat of the show is going to be about the Alabama secondary and the experience that they return in that particular area, as well as hitting on the special teams as we conclude our spring football previews going into Alabama's official spring football practice, which will start on the beginning of March. So that's next Monday. And looking forward to it. Looking forward to finally seeing kind of this team get into practice mode. I know they've been in the fourth quarter. But the latest news, and this is just like fresh out, all the team reporters talking about this, is that there's going to be no TV broadcast this year for Alabama's A-Day. I think it's like the first time since 2006 that there'll be no TV coverage of Alabama's spring football game. We all know why. The poachers are out there. Right, they're kind of scouting Alabama's football team. We've talked about how college football has changed and no TV broadcast. I mean, so come to the game. The game's going to be free. I still would imagine that they might do something online. I mean, I would think they could come up with something, but it's interesting to just no TV broadcast because, you know, it's part of college football. Like, if you can't get to the game in Tuscaloosa, and if you're in the area or if you've never been here, now is a great time to come check it out. I recommend staying at, like, if you can, Westgate Luxury Condos. Not a sponsor, but that place is absolutely fire. And getting an opportunity to just build some camaraderie with fellow Alabama football fans. Hopefully the day is as nice as it was last year. That was the best day that we had last year. We all got together. It was a good day to kind of break bread and to celebrate the Alabama Crimson Tide football team. But no broadcast for Alabama's spring game this year. I know everybody's talking about it this morning. Come to the game. All right, if you're in town, come to the game, support the local businesses. There's a lot of people that can't. I mean, some people are always like, you know, there's 100,000 that are watching the game, but think about it, there's millions that want to see Alabama football play just because of how big the brand is. So, unfortunately, no TV broadcast. This is kind of the way of the world. I don't know. Let me ask you this. Do you think that we will get a spring football game back next year? Let's say that college football puts together some guardrails and there's only one spring football window, or there's only one transfer portal window, like at the end of the season, like at the end of January. Do you think spring football games will then come back, or do you think that they'll just be gone and go kind of more towards like OTAs like the NFL? I don't know. I kind of think this might be the end of spring football games. This might be one of the last times that we have spring football because I think coaches are now playing so many games during the season. They don't want to risk injuries. I kind of think that this will be the last and I don't even know. They haven't really announced what this spring football game will be. They said modified. What does that mean? I don't know. Usually, I think Coach Kalen DeBoer said that it's kind of like a practice. So, I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine in terms of the modifications that Alabama will have for its spring game. They haven't said that they canceled the game. They haven't said that there's not going to be pads. They really haven't said a lot. They've just said modified. It's at 12 p.m. on April 12th, and there's no TV broadcast. So, and I guess we'll revisit everything if there is, you know, some rules put in with the transfer portal window. But overall, this is what it is. So come out and support Alabama football on April 12th if you're in the area. West Coast, and what's up, man? Max Tooney, Sean, Daniel, Byron. This is the whole spring crew. Kimberly, Nicole, Daniel Adams, Sean, Alex Wilder, Nicole, Samuel, it's me, Marvin. I appreciate you guys supporting me this morning right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Friday, February 28th. What's your weekend's plans? What are your weekend plans? You have anything planned? The weather should be good. It's been a little bit cold in the morning, but the weather's been good. It's already like beautiful. Right now in Tuscaloosa, it's 60 degrees. All right, this was in yesterday. There was an article. Coach Kalen DeBoer spoke to Pete Nakos of On3. Pete Nakos has been getting a lot of scoop. And they're talking about the balanced playing field now with the House versus NCAA. Basically, Alabama football and Alabama athletics will have like $20 million to pay from the university to their athletic programs. We're kind of estimating like $16 million might go to the football team, right? So Coach Kalen DeBoer says this in this article. You should go check it out on 3. Having a more balanced playing field helps our situation. It allows us to get where it was at one point just a few years ago, where recruiting was real recruiting, not just someone who's got to put in the most with the highest bid. And I think it's going to be interesting to see, and I think he's right to an extent, that now it's going to be about not only recruiting as it was recruiting, but it's also going to be about coaching. The best coaches are going to rise up and be able to coach their team, right, and be able to put together the best team on the field based on coaching, right? And I know Daniel Adams did that. I was just going to get to that. And look, the social outpour was not good from his comments, okay? This is what everybody was saying. I'll go full screen on this. I mean, this is real talk. This is on social media. Alabama, look, I'll start at the top left. This is all from X. Did Alabama head football coach just cry poor? Alabama? They had the most talented roster in the country and finished 9-3. Actually, they finished 9-4. Balanced playing field is hilarious. Does revenue sharing actually level the playing field, or will the biggest programs still find ways to dominate recruiting? Interesting. Does revenue sharing actually level the playing field, or will the biggest program still find a way to dominate recruiting? Interesting point. Maybe he's not a good coach. Mike G says, laugh out loud. Acting like Bama wasn't putting in the highest bids for years. Yeah, there's a ton of backlash on these comments that he had yesterday, right? Back on I'm on the far top right now. Back on balanced playing field, what a joke. Smells poor over there. Maybe consider being a better coach. So, look, I think the point of it is, now you're going to have the schools and the universities being able to pay the players, and you're going to have additional NIL opportunities for the players as well. The players are going to make even more money now because they're all going to get. We don't know how much these guys are going to get. We'll never know. I don't think. Is the quote a bad look? I don't know. I mean, people are going to always throw shade at Alabama, but now it's going to be, look, here's the money. You can pay your players. Now coach them. And as I've said many times, the schedule's very difficult. And while I'm very confident that this team will be better than they were last year, I mean, as you've seen national models, a lot of people still don't have Alabama making the playoffs because of their schedule and the way that the playoffs are designed. Like the teams, how you get in. Now, that's why college football, not only for Alabama, but I think overall, they're going to extend the playoffs. Pretty soon it'll be 16 teams, right? West Coastin asking, how does Alabama distribute the $16 million to players, to renovations? No. West Coastin, that $16 million goes to the players, goes to your entire roster. So I did a show, I don't know, I think it was in January, where I started with $20 million. And I broke it down in how I would distribute it to the players. I mean, so $16 million, look, there's going to be players making millions of dollars. Like, the way I formulated it, I think I had 5 players, and I worked with $20 million. I had 5 players or 6 making at least $1.5 million. And then from there, I was able to get like 16 that I was able to pay like, I don't know, $750,000. And then I kind of went down the road. And the guys who were lesser known or kind of in development were getting like $90,000 as just kind of a baseline. So Alabama, from a budget standpoint, what do they do? And how do all programs deal with that? Right? See, Daniel Adams is saying like Keelan Russell gets $2 million. And then on top of that, what the universities are going to do is, okay, they have $16 million. We distribute that however they want to, right? Keelan Russell, who makes more, him or Ty Simpson? I don't know, right? How much does Jan Miller get? How much does Brian Williams get? And then from that, they also get NIL money as well. NIL opportunities, meaning like, brand deals. So you could easily have like Ryan Williams making like $10 million here at the University of Alabama, getting paid, and then his NIL deals, right? $10 million. Second year at Alabama, that definitely could happen. And that's going to be the challenge for programs, is how to divvy up that money, how to pay their players, and then what happens if those players transfer out, and what kind of rules and regulations are tied to that. Like if the player transfers, he obviously forfeits that money, but do they pay him up front? I don't know. Daniel Adams saying Ryan Williams gets at least $3 million. I would say Ryan Williams should get what, out of $16 million? He is the man, and that is going to be interesting to see how that plays, because look, the players, you should never talk about money with people that you work with. It's going to leak out. These guys, man, do you know this guy's making $3 million? He's making $3 million. I'm putting more at practice. Right? Patrick Trotter inside the comment box. No broadcasting A-Day. That's freaking BS. Fans from myself from like Pennsylvania looking forward to that stuff. I guess, Alabama is not getting. Yeah, I don't know. I think the main decision to not broadcast A-Day is because of people poaching Alabama's players. I don't know. I would think that, but I mean, Greg Burns said that there's so many people signing up for his new NIL collective. It's unbelievable. So who knows? I don't know. These were the comments. This is the backlash that Coach Kalen DeBoer got. Here's another quote that I thought was interesting, and it kind of fits right into what we were talking about players getting paid, right? So this is Robbie Oots right here at the NFL Combine. Love this dude, and he has this to say. He says, I think these young kids are making a little bit premature decisions, and I think if they did a little bit more due diligence and choose a school that actually fits them and their play style and development the best, instead of making decisions for whatever reasons being money, I think you'd see a little bit more stability in sports. And this is going to be the thing, and this is where we are right now. Players are just basically portal surfing, and I think they're using Alabama as still a stepping stone to even further their brand. I really do. I think the players that come in here for 1 year and they're like, yeah, I went to Alabama, they can leapfrog and go other spots just because you went to Alabama football. Hey, Derek, say, what's up, man? I see you inside the comment box, for real. Appreciate you being here. Rich B, what's up, man? Marcus is saying inside the comment box, let's not pretend why we know the A-Day game isn't going to be broadcast. The roster will get poached. You don't do something for nothing. You want to protect the roster. I think that's the biggest reason, too, to be honest, is I think, especially because you're taking away, Texas isn't having their spring game. There's several big programs not having a spring game anymore. And when you don't have that, then they're going to focus on Alabama. Hey, we'll put you on ESPN. People so hungry just to watch college football at that point in time. They get so many views, and then they could just poach the roster because that stupid transfer portal window is 3 days after. Anyways, Robbie Oots arguing that players should do more due diligence into a program that they fit in. I think it's clearly all about money. It's pro sports now. That's why I think it's going to go more to OTAs, because I don't think that they want, in the springtime, they can't. Now these players, whether they're making hundreds of thousands of dollars or close to $1 million, they can't risk these players getting hurt. The players and their agents don't want them getting hurt, right? Yeah, I guess that means I'll be going to A-Day. Usually I just post up here and watch it on the broadcast with you guys, but we'll have to figure that out, how we do that. I'll be up in the stands too. So we'll see. But no TV broadcast for A-Day. Robbie Oots also had this to say. I thought this quote was interesting. Yesterday, they're doing all their interviews at the NFL Combine. He said, Ty Simpson has a skill set that fans have not seen yet. I thought that was interesting because he's clearly, seen. Robbie Oots was with the program for a long time. He's seen clearly some things from Ty Simpson that people haven't seen yet. I like this quote right here. And we're not really going to see much in the springtime, because I think you probably try to keep these under wraps as well with the quarterbacks. And you definitely don't want to name your starter, because you theoretically one of the guys who's not the starter could get mad and hit the transfer portal as well. So if I'm Kalen DeBoer, I'm trying to figure out, get these guys opportunities with the first team, second team, or whatever, but also play my cards close to my vest, because I don't want these guys dipping out because they're like not the starter. After you tell them April 16th, this is who, or you tell them later on, like in May or June. No, you let it play out in August in terms of who's going to be the quarterback. Peasy, what's up, man? Inside the comment box. He's saying the narrative back in the beginning of the show that Alabama had some unspoken advantage that nobody could replicate for 15 years is conspiracy level theory stuff. The thing is that's Saban. Nobody was Saban, period. Right? And they couldn't outwork Saban. They couldn't outcoach Saban. They couldn't out-recruit Saban. That was the secret sauce. Were there things going on behind the scenes? Who knows? That's never been proven. But what was proven when Saban left, like that, he was the guy. Jahad Campbell at the NFL Combine. Go back and watch all my shows. I've been telling you guys this for years. I'm not surprised to see this. Jahad Campbell, 6'2", 235-pound outside linebacker, absolutely had a fantastic day at the NFL Combine. Just a fantastic showing. Think about these numbers. If you know football, if you played football, if you know anything about these type of numbers, they're absolutely elite for somebody that is 6'2", 235 pounds. Okay, he had a 40 time of 4.5. Okay, and then on top of that, he had a broad of 10.7, 10 feet. That is like phenomenal. That is wild. So I've been saying he's a first round. I have him, if I had to give him a draft assessment, I'm saying like top 15. These numbers are fantastic. You know what? Dallas Turner had some fantastic numbers last year as well. He went later in the draft than I expected, but he still went in the first round. Check out this comparison, okay? How good is he? This is from NFL Network, the screenshot right here. He's lined up next to Fred Warner in terms of the overall statistics, and it looks like he's faster than Fred Warner, at least at the 40. This is crazy. I love my 49ers, and Fred Warner is an absolute monster. The exact same guy. Maybe the 49ers, please get Jahad Campbell. That's what I'm hoping for now. To even have that comparison is like just mind-blowing. That's how good Jahad Campbell is. Really good, dude. I think his uncle, remember when his uncle called in the show one time? That was what's up. Every once in a while, we'll have like a player's parent or, relative call in. Man, Daniel, man, that would be amazing if Jahad Campbell goes to the 49ers. Rich B, Texans, no way. You guys already have William Anderson. All right, let's talk about the Alabama secondary, okay? So the secondary, tons of experience. Damani Jackson back, Xavier Brown back, Keon Sabb, and Bray Hubbard. We don't know who's going to be the Husky, but overall, when you look to the corners, okay, this is an elite group. The inside linebackers, yesterday I talked about all the experience that you have at the inside linebackers, guys with tons of snap counts. Quay Rusau returns, right? Ja Latham returns. And now you're looking at another group that has experience as well. I put these little Husky icons under like Cam Calhoun and Red Morgan. I don't know that for sure. It makes sense. We'll find out, next week when they start practicing who's looking like they're playing the Husky position. But there's no way to spin it, and I'm not sugarcoating it either. And this isn't like, I'll tell you if I feel a level is or an area is, underwhelming, or if I have questions. I do have questions here, like who's going to be the Husky position player. I think that's an area where you see competition. I didn't even put Jalen Mbakwe at that position. I think he could play both sides of the ball, but we don't know that for sure. But Damani Jackson and Xavier Brown, each of those guys were starters last year, right? Deshaun Jones came over from Wake Forest. He played. Red Morgan, he played. He swapped in and out with Devontae Smith at that Husky position. The Husky position is the extra corner spot that they put on the field in that 4-2-5 defensive front. And then the new additions, Dejon Lee Mustard, and then Chuck McDonald, who I think is getting here in the summertime. So, I mean, the group is the Husky like a safety? It's kind of like a blend, like a very versatile corner position player. Just think about Devontae Smith last year. That's what your Husky position is. I think so too. Daniel, you and I are in sync this morning, man. Yo, I think Dejon Lee, when his time is coming, and he has that size too. He's like, what, 6'4"? But look at these snap counts. So yesterday I showed you all the snap counts that you have at inside linebacker, right? Deontay Lawson, Nakai Hill-Green, who's a transfer, Justin Jefferson. Look at the snap counts that you have from your corners. You didn't have this last year. We didn't even return a corner last year. Dwight, exactly. It's a nickel corner. Look at this. Now you're returning both these. I didn't think Damani would come back. I was so shocked that LT came back and that Damani came back. I was pretty sure that Damani would go. Him coming back is phenomenal. So underneath from Pro Football Focus, he was targeted 50 times, allowed 27 receptions. It didn't seem like they went at him 50 times last year. It didn't seem like they went at Damani frequently at all. And then on the other side, for a freshman, 660 snaps, 40 targets, and 18 receptions as a freshman. Patrick's like, Kyle, how about you pay for my plane ticket to Pennsylvania? I know, man, it sucks. I don't know. I mean, look, everything's changing. I get it. That sucks. How about this? You throw me a super chat. Now we'll look at a coupon for I guess Southwest. What airport are you flying out of from Pennsylvania? I still think they'll have some sort of broadcast or something like that. Wouldn't it make sense just to like stream it through their Yay Alabama deal? Let me ask you this. On your level of excitement for Damani Jackson and Xavier Brown coming back, is it like out of 10? What is it? Mine's a 10. See, Jason, what's up, man? Inside the comment box, 6'4", 190 pounds. It's taller than Clinton Dick at 6'1", 211. Yeah, I think the last tall corner that we had was, what, Trey Amos? And what was he, like 6'2"? I don't know if we've ever had like a corner. Have we had a corner here over the last, like, I don't know, 10 seasons that's been 6'4"? Look, everybody pumped up. Todd saying don't do pay-per-view. That's what I was thinking. Why don't they just have like some sort of, I mean, they could have their own broadcast stuff. I would imagine that that's what it turns into eventually anyways. Ooh, that's an interesting one. Record it and broadcast it after the portal closes. I like that idea. Anyways, Damani Jackson and Xavier Brown coming back. What do you guys? Let me ask you this about the transfers that came in, like Cam Calhoun, Deshaun Jones. This will be his second year here. How are you guys feeling about Cam Calhoun? Oh yeah. Oh man. R.I.P. to Kyrie. Yeah. Thank you. I've forgotten about him, man. That was so terrible. He was a long, rangy corner. Yeah, that was sad. There you go, Larry Large. Patrick Surtain, 6'3". Man, he was such a beast, bro. He was so good. Patrick Surtain was so good. He's still so good. What, Defensive Player of the Year, right? How are you guys feeling about Cam Calhoun? Do you think that Cam Calhoun will be that Husky player? I think so. You think Utah, you think good defense? From what I've heard, like there were some people that were interviewed, some players of Cam Calhoun interviewed, I think at the Senior Bowl, I want to say, and they said that Cam Calhoun is like, he's fantastic. I think that's where they were at. So he's coming in as a defensive player, and it makes sense that he would come in and fit that Husky position because they already have 2 returning corners and they have their safeties that are returning, and I haven't heard his name mentioned as a safety, which leads me to believe that he's a Husky position player because I think that's open for competition right now between Cam Calhoun and Red Morgan. And if you're wondering about like the whole Husky, I think I have a graphic if I can kind of slide back. Let's see. I think this was yesterday when I was talking about the position. Bear with me while I roll through these slides. I got a million slides. See this position up here? So you got your safeties back here. We'll talk about these guys next. You got your corners right here, Damani Jackson and Xavier Brown, right? And then that Husky position is that 3rd corner right here. So that's why the secondary, I mean, the only question mark that we really have is like this area, and then who's kind of the reserves at safety. We talked about the linebackers yesterday. You could watch that on the rewatch. Thought that was good. You know, it's amazing to just see how much experience those guys have at the inside linebacker room. And now you look to another area, the corners. I mean, comparatively, I guess they have equal numbers of snaps, the corners and the inside linebackers. Jack Wells hyping up Chuck McDonald. Yeah, I think Chuck McDonald gets a little bit overshadowed because, you know, Dejon Lee is a 5-star coming out, but they're both California kids, both coming out of really good programs. I think you're right. I think kind of looking back at the recruitment of Chuck McDonald, Mo Lindquist is like super elated about bringing in another California prospect and somebody I think that is a balanced corner that can hit you hard and can eventually, you know, contribute to this team. I don't know how many of these guys that are younger will contribute this year as freshmen, but as you can see, kind of the future of that corner position looks really good. All right, looking at the safety room, there's a lot going on here, okay? Because you lose Malachi Moore. Malachi Moore was, I mean, still is just such a great ambassador for the University of Alabama. Javion, what's up, man? I see you inside the comment box. Show 44, what's up, man? He's not going to do drills. I think he's coming off a surgery or something like that, but Malachi Moore will be in the NFL. Replacing him at the safety position, yeah, that's going to be tough. And I don't know if Keon Sabb or Bray Hubbard, if they're better than Malachi Moore. Yeah, I mean, the way that Bray Hubbard has been trending upwards, man, that guy just rises up on game day. I'll talk about some of these other guys in a minute, but, I mean, think about this combo coming back, right? If these guys are going to be the starters at safety position, man, Keon Sabb here on your left, 455 snaps before he got injured, 24 targets, 17 receptions. Shoot, he had 2 interceptions in the first game of the season. James, what's up, man? Coming to us from New York. What's up, man? Appreciate you being here. What part of New York? And then on the right, you have Bray Hubbard, 429 snaps, 18 targets, 10 receptions. I think he finished out with 2 interceptions as well. Yeah, show 44. I appreciate the support, man. That's what's up. These guys are coming back. You got your corners coming back. You didn't have that last year. Last year during springtime, we had no idea who was going to be where outside of Malachi Moore. Malachi Moore was the only guy that really returned. Devontae Smith hadn't really played because he was coming off an injury. Now you have a lot of experience. That's why, you'd be hard-pressed. Like, how would you not figure that Alabama's overall, like, their defense would not be better this coming year? Everybody's coming back. All their coaches. They moved Chuck Morrell to inside linebacker. Mo Lindquist, they got Jason Jones working in the safeties as well. Safeties or defensive secondary with Mo Lindquist. Everybody's coming back. The only question that you really have in the secondary is who's going to be the Husky position player. And I think the other questions that we have when you look to the safety room is who's going to be those reserves, or can one of these reserves maybe step up and, I don't know, emerge as a starter? Because when we look right here, you have Zay Mincy. Zay Mincy played fantastic against Michigan. He grew up a ton. Remember when they put Zay Mincy in? There was some weird play. I forget who it was against. But it seemed like he was rushed onto the field. Zay Mincy lines up, and they just cooked him. They threw a touchdown, like a pass right over him. I was like, damn. But all the freshmen got cooked. I've said that hundreds of times. Cam Howard, I don't really know. I don't really know too much about him. But I do know that King Mack, remember he left? I didn't think King Mack would be able to play here, and I thought he really struggled. He's back at Penn State. He came here and then went back. Todd is predicting that Keon Keeley hits the transfer portal. Talked about him a couple days ago. He's a bandit position player. There's a log jam at that bandit position with LT Overton coming back. I don't know. It's something we're watching. How are you guys feeling about Drake Kirkpatrick Jr.? I mentioned a couple days ago that Drake Kirkpatrick Jr. is actually being sued. You guys see that? It was the weirdest. It's the weirdest story in college football. Is somebody rushed the field, right? Somebody rushed the field, ran into him, and then is suing him. What a strange story that is. So, but I think, I mean, right, Daniel? And that's why I think, like, from a perspective in terms of, like, rushing the field, this is something that certainly needs to stop. And he's got to wait his turn. But he's bigger than his dad was in terms of, like, and I think he's a bigger hitter. His dad's probably more of a playmaker, but I think he's got, he can lay the lumber. Didn't he have I think he had an interception last spring game, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, let me ask you about Ivan Taylor. You guys excited about Ivan Taylor? Scale of 1 to 10. That's why I'm saying the secondary, Chuck McDonald, Dejon Lee, Ivan Taylor, those were like really quality pickups. How are you guys feeling about Ivan Taylor? Now, Ivan Taylor flipped from Notre Dame to Michigan and then to Bama, right? 10. Yeah, Ivan Taylor, man, he's good. He enrolled, I think, during the Citrus Bowl. I saw some footage from the University of Alabama. They released it to everybody. But I was like, man, is that Ivan Taylor? So he's been here since, what, December? Yeah, everybody's excited about him, for sure. So that, I mean, yeah. Brock, what's up, man? Samuel, good to see you. So what? So now that I've spoken about the secondary, whether you're talking about the corners or the safeties, how you guys feeling about them on a scale of 1 to 10? The overall group, like everybody. I might say, I mean, shoot, collectively with the secondary, maybe like an 8.5. And I think I'd probably go higher if I knew, like, I want to see Keon Sabb in action again, because I do feel, I honestly have to say that I feel that he was kind of trending the opposite way for whatever reason, and I think he got burnt a couple times. Bray Hubbard was way better than I thought he'd be. But Keon Sabb should be really, I mean, there's a couple players at the NFL Combine that were saying some great things about Keon Sabb. So him and Bray coming back, the two corners were fantastic. And I mean, maybe not fantastic last year, but grew up. Damani Jackson was great. Xavier Brown grew up. So if you can figure out that Husky position, I mean, what's not to like? Yeah, West Coast's feeling it. Okay, the last thing I want to hit on is the Alabama special teams. This will conclude our spring football preview going into next week's spring football practice. This, this is probably an area of concern. I don't want to, don't worry. I'm not going to leave Friday with, pissing you off. But this is something like a point to ponder. You don't have any experience here. Zero. That is not something that sits well with me going into the season. None of these guys have played significant snaps in the SEC. And there's a lot on the line in all these games, especially on the road. And you just don't have experience. You don't have the last couple of years. You've been spoiled in the special teams, right? You have Will Reichard. You've had James Burnham at punter. You've had Neelan Hibbett, who's been the long snapper. It doesn't matter who's the kick returner or the punt returner. Alabama has plenty to choose from. But there's a big difference when you come in from a different school. Think about this. Graham Nicholson. This dude won the Lou Groza Award. I think they robbed Will Reichard from it. I really do. This guy came in. He was on the road at Wisconsin, and he missed a field goal. This is a completely different level. So I think Connor Talty, he's been here. They bring in Peter Notaro. Do you guys have? How are you guys feeling about the special teams? There's not a lot to know. I mean, clearly these guys are good. They're coming here to Alabama, but they don't have any experience. Not playing here, not in the SEC. So maybe this is the one area right now that Jarvis is still feeling good. He's feeling 7. Herman's saying 6. I'm probably like a 5. Do they go into this area for another, is there someone in the transfer portal that they go in for? I don't know. 6, 5, 3. See, that Jack's like no clue. I know. That's why I'm just putting it as baseline 5, because they can't be like worse than that. Todd's bullish, saying 7. This is probably one of the biggest questions right here. You know what was crazy? The funny thing about Talty is he came in, I think the year that, I think this will be Talty's his 3rd year here? His 3rd or 2nd year? He came in his first game, he had a tackle. Will Reichard played an entire career and had 1 tackle. I don't know if that means anything. Todd's saying that the punter is really good. Which one, Blake Dowd or Alex Osbroff? Who's supposed to be like the better punter? I guess we'll have to find out. But this is one of my biggest question marks, is like, who's going to be here? Let me ask you this. That's what I'm saying, Crimson, right? So he came in. So this is his 3rd year here. All right, let me ask you this. Who do you have at kick returner? Post 2 kick returners for me inside the comment box. Kick returners. I'm going to go with, let's see. Kick returners. Give me Jalen Mbakwe. And who else? Give me Jalen Mbakwe and shoot, maybe like okay, so Jalen, okay. Jarvis, I'm not going to put Hollywood back there for kick returns. I want to. Maybe Cole. All right, so you guys go with Cole Adams and Bach. Okay, I'll go with Daniel Adams. Daniel Adams, we've been vibing all morning, bro. Get out of my brain, dude. All right, so Jalen Mbakwe and Cole Adams. That's who we're going with for kick returner. Okay. Same thing for punt returner. Who you guys got on punt? I know you guys don't like this, but I'm putting Ryan Williams for punt returner. Or Jalen Mbakwe. The first, in that first game against Florida State, I'm putting Ryan Williams back there. See, you guys aren't going to like that. I like it. Not against some of the lighter teams on the schedule, but I think all SEC games, you put Ryan Williams back there. He just has it. And maybe you just put him back there like situational, kind of like maybe the game's a little bit tight. Maybe you need some momentum. You kind of play it like that. Ooh, Jalen. No, I'm not risking Jalen Hill ever again. I was thinking a running back. Could we put Kevin Riley back somewhere? Cole Adams seems to be a likely pick. That's who if you play this video game, they put Cole Adams back there. So I'm keeping Hills as safe as I can. All right, fam. Well, those were your spring football previews that we've rolled through this week. Next week, we finally have spring football. As you know, I'm live as major news happens, and Monday through Friday. You know, I'm not going to lie. Ooh, Bubba Hampton's a really nice addition. I like that. Maybe Bubba Hampton. You know, I'm not going to lie. Like January and February, you know, it can be challenging in terms of, you know, content to continue to talk about in the months of January and February, right? And but I want to say this, and I'm proud about this. I've had a live show every single day during the weekday from January and February. You know, so and my goal is during that time is just to work on consistency and performance. You see what I'm saying? So like, it's really important to me. My workouts, my parenting, you know, being on the show, my job, consistency and performance. And Coach Saban always spoke about that. So I think like a lot of the things that Coach Saban spoke about, it still resonated to me, you know, in terms of like my working world. I like to think I have that dog mentality, not scared to take on the work, because, you know, as a content creator, like I support myself with your guys' help, right? And I like that. It's amazing. Been doing that for, you know, close to 20 years. I appreciate you guys rocking with me all the time. Thank you so much for the continued support. As major news happens, you know where you can get it right here at Bama Football on YouTube. Please support all the great content creators, all the great team writers, and everybody that covers Alabama football or college football in general. There are some amazingly talented people out there. I'm glad to have your attention for these 45 minutes today right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Spring football coming up next week. As you know, when news happens, right here, Bama Football on YouTube. Also uploaded to Apple Podcasts and Spotify later in the day. But everything comes right here to Bama Football on YouTube. Also, our Facebook page is very active. Coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama on this beautiful Friday, February 28th. Kyle Henderson, Bama Football on YouTube. See you, fam. Love you.